Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I've been following you for quite a while, and me and my wife have been treating debt like it's cancer. We've been living kind of frugally, and I'm left with about 15 to 20 credit cards that are completely paid off, and we can't decide what to do with them because our credit score is so good. We can't decide whether we want to close them or just hold on to them.
Okay, I'm confused. I thought you said you were following us. And that you said you hated debt. Is that the same guy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you hate debt, why do you need a credit score?
And that's where I'm at, but this is where the contention comes from. I don't think my wife's quite where I'm at as far as.
So she doesn't hate debt. She wants more debt.
It kind of feels like that, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that's a different issue.
Sometimes it feels that way, yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, if you want debt, you do need a credit score. If you want to go into debt, credit score is a good thing.
Yes, sir.
But it's the antithesis of building wealth, because your most powerful wealth building tool is your income. And when you give all your income to other people because you stay in debt all the time, then you're going to be broke your whole life and build other people tall buildings, not your own. And,
yes, sir.
So our goal here is to get you out of debt so that you can become wealthy. And the only way a credit score is built, it's 100% based on how you interface with debt. And it's for the purpose of getting in debt. And the way you get a good score is get in debt so that later you can get into more debt so that you run your score up so you can get into more debt so that you run your score up so you can get into more debt. And that's the essence of the FICO score. We worship at the altar of the great FICO. We bring him offerings of interest and say, oh, great FICO, thank you for being my provider and letting me buy crap I can't afford with money I don't have to impress people I don't really like. And that's the whole purpose of FICO.
Yeah, it feels like a generational curse almost.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what it is. And it's designed to prosper the bank. It's not designed to prosper you. But people get caught up in this false measure of success. It's not a real measure of success. So, that's what you guys have to decide at your house. And then once you decide that, it's an easy fix. You just close the accounts and chop up the stupid cards, have a plastic surgery.
Now, do you recommend keeping any credit cards?
I don't have any. I haven't had. My credit score is indeterminable, known as zero.
Wow.
Just like the interest I pay, zero.
It's almost hard. It's almost hard to imagine because I've spent the past 10 years building my credit. Focusing on. I've always. I know.
Once you belong to the FICO cult, it's hard to get out because they brainwash you. But because what you have to actually do is intellectually decide: is this a measure of success? And my contention is it is not a measure of success, that net worth and income are measures of financial success, not a score that says I've borrowed money a lot.
Right.
And made them successful.
I told my wife today, I said, I'll be a millionaire by the time I'm 35.
No, you won't.
By the time I retire, I'll have $1 million.
No, you won't. You're not going to. Not unless you fix this problem.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to cut those credit cards up today.
Okay.
And call those companies.
And close the accounts.
All
right.
And close the accounts.
All right. Well, and you better be on board with your spouse in doing this. I'm not trying to cause a divorce here, okay? I mean, the two of you need to sit down and talk about where you want to be. But if that's how you're going to live, you are going to be a millionaire. Because that's the secret. I mean, it's not a secret. It's that you keep your money and invest it instead of giving it to Ford Motor Company and MasterCard and Amazon freaking Prime. And everybody else is profiting off your butt. All you do is work for other people and give your money to them all your life. And that is the essence of debt. And so when you quit doing that, it's magical how much money you have.
Mm. It reminds me of one of my favorite lines from a movie. Forrest Whitaker's the actor. It's called The Great Debater. It's a true story. And at some point in the movie, his son, who's all into debate, he's a great student, but he's spending all of his time in debate club, and he's letting his studies starting to slip, and his dad's getting on him, and he runs out with an attitude, and his father follows him out on the porch, and Forrest Whitaker says, "Son, do what you have to do, then you get to do what you want to do." And that's the essence of the matrix that everybody's in, because, see, credit cards say do what you want to do. But wealthy people, they've already figured it out, and they go, I'm going to do what I have to do so that later I can do what I want to do. And this applies to money. And so if I have to wait to save up to buy something, if I have to wait to do the vacation I want to, if I have to wait to pay off my debt, my student loan, the idea here is that there is a difference. There's two very clear paths. One is the path to average, and the other is the path to excellence. And really wealthy people, it's a much smaller path, and they figure that self-delayed. They can delay gratification. They can figure out discipline because they got their eye on the prize. They're thinking 30 years from now. That's what they're thinking. And you got to pull yourself out of the matrix.
I don't want to wait 30 years to live my life. Well, it's not going to be 30 years, Duber. I mean, it's going to be 30 months for you to be debt-free and start to have an emergency fund and start to get control. It doesn't take that long. But yeah, after 30 years, you're going to have millions. To be really
wealthy, millions. You have to have that long view.
If you live like no one else later, you'll get to live like no one else. Zig Ziglar and the great motivators used to say, if you want the things that other people don't have, you have to do the things that other people won't do.
Yes.
And so decide. What does it look like? What does your life look like to be different than average? Because average is broke with a car payment and a student loan that's been around so long you think it's a pet. Average is credit cards are necessary. I'm going to get rich on airline miles. The dumbest butt statement I've ever heard in my life. I'm gonna make my money on Discover points. Let's do the calculation on that one, okay, shall we? You run $100,000 on your Discover card. They give you 1% back. That's $1,000. In what school of thought does turning $100,000 into $1,000 cause you to be wealthy? What logic is in? How much drugs did your parents have to do for you to believe that turning 100,000 into 1,000 is a path to wealth? I mean, the 70s were good to your folks. I'm just saying. Oh my God. Wow. I mean, that's about as dumb as a rock right there. But people, they look at me straight in the face with this sincere thing that this is a methodology for building wealth. I'm going to take 100 grand turned into 1 grand, and that's wealthy. Huh? That's just dumber than it's hard to get my head around. So, but these are the mythology that average normal people believe.
The matrix, yeah.
And for God's sakes, don't challenge their little myth, because they get all pissed off if you challenge their falsehood that they're living right square in the middle of and believing. Yeah, they get all TikTok on you then, man, and just turn you into a meme. I'm just saying, I know a guy that happened to. So.
Yeah. Oh man, it really is funny though. The cultural, like, you've got to have the credit score. You heard it right out of his mouth. By the way, there's nothing wrong with him. He's literally repeating what 9 out of 10 people repeat, which is, I got to have the credit score to actually be a functioning human being.
So what do we got? Just under 400 million people in America roughly now, right?
I think that's right.
There's 26 million millionaires. 26 million millionaires out of 400. So what is that? That's...
well, just, what is it, 5%? A little over 5?
Right around 5%. So that means that if you are doing the things that we're talking about, you're in the top 5% of people in America. And then there's the rest of you.
That's right.
That are just going to keep doing the stupid butt stuff over and over and over again until somebody yells at you enough that you'll get your attention. It's like, oh, I have my plan. Well, good luck with that. Look at how it's working for you. Your $1,200 car lease. Dumber than a rock. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.